And welcome back from that break. Glad you're still watching Science Breakfast with me, Alan Hubbard. A sign language interpreter this morning is Jedida Wafula. Now, we started off with Muslims worldwide celebrate Eid al-Adha, and Muslims faithful gathered in various mosques and prayer grounds across the country to mark Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice. However, the high cost of living has led to many Muslims faithful failing to slaughter God's sheep and cows. Here are the full details.
Tumefurahi kwa kwamba Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa uzima na uhai. Wito wetu ni kwamba leo kwa kuwa ni siku tukufu, kama ulivyosikia hutuba, ni siku dunia nzima Mwenyezi Mungu anatukuzwa kwa kuambiwa Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Tunaona nchi zenye matatizo zote zinakuwa na tabu. Kwa hivyo sisi kama umma tunataka tuwaombe viongozi wote, sawa walioko ndani ya serikali au walioko kwenye opposition, tuwaombe kwamba waangalie namna ya kutatua matatizo yao kwa njia mzuri, wala si kuleta vurugu, kwa sababu yule mlalahoi ambaye unajaribu kumtetea, ukimkosesha ile siku moja kwenda kufanya kibarua, huwa hukumsaidia.
Buzi iko 16,000, 10,000, 12,000, 13,000.
Tuko hali juu kile kitu, mbuzi imepanda, customer pia hakuna, wale amenunua pia pesa hakuna. Mtu alikuwa amenunua 2, leo amechukua 1 tu.
Na kwa Waislamu na sio kuwa Waislamu, leo ni siku ya sisi kutia furaha kwenye nyoyo za wanadamu, kutia furaha kwenye nyoyo za mayatima, nyoyo za mafukara, nyoyo za maskini, na kutia furaha kwa kila mmoja katika sisi Waislamu.
Napenda kuwazungumzia ndugu zetu maimamu wa Kakamega County ya kwamba wajaribu kila njia kuwaunganisha Waislamu wa Kakamega County, waweze kuhubiri amani, waweze kuhubiri umoja.
Tukuomba kwamba Waislamu wote popote walipo, wakati huu wanaposherehekea Eid al-Adha, Eid ya kuchinja, wakumbuke wale ambao sio jiweza katika jamii.
Watu taumia, wananchi ataumia. Kuanzia tarehe 1 Julai, matatizo sasa hujaona, utakuja sikia tu. Wale watu wa siasa hawaangalii vile wananchi taishi, maslaha wananchi takuwa namna gani, hawa naangalia tumbo yao na vile watafanya.
My messages to the congregants at this morning's prayers was to maintain peace and stability. We're facing problems on our borders, but we should not take for granted the peace and stability that we have enjoyed. And it's every citizen's responsibility.
And away from that, now to strangers in cabinet. Did President William Ruto violate the constitution in allowing 3 advisors and the UDA Secretary General to sit in cabinet meetings? A section of legal experts have questioned the president's actions, barely 2 years since similar actions by President Uhuru Kenyatta were found to be in violation of the constitution. And away from that, to secondary school head teachers heads lament over distribution of funds in schools. Now, secondary school heads across the country are raising fears that some core activities in the school calendars are bound to be adversely affected with delays in release of capitation funds by the government. Here are the full details of these lamentations.
We propose that the Ministry of Education considers to increase the capitation from the current figure of 22,244 we had proposed last year to 30,000 shillings. Members have asked me to ask Kenya National Examination Council to assure us that we will not see things flying on mobile phones of exams that are to be done in the morning, even before papers are collected.
Why is a policeman standing behind a principal when they are doing their final work after curriculum delivery? I always urge us that let's be trusted in our theater of operations.
To continue tightening the noose on the offenders who keep mutating their cheating practices, the government shall eradicate early exposure to the examination papers by reviewing the correction procedures of examination materials. In this arrangement, the center managers shall correct the papers in the morning and afternoon, as opposed to correcting all papers for the day at once in the morning. Teacher capacity, Teacher Service Commission, we are working as a team, and I'm sure we are also mitigating on that particular area, because progressively, yes, we know there is a problem not only in junior secondary, but even in senior secondary. We want to get back from the the current quarterly system to the ratio of 50, 30, and 20 going forward. It is our conviction that the findings will galvanize a new lifeline to the education reforms and the ever-evolving education sector. Indeed, what I want to promise you is that the Kenya Kwanza administration has a vision. The Kenya Kwanza administration has an agenda for this country.
When we go to a school, there are 2,000 kids. So we underfund you by around 300. Not because we intended to underfund you, but because you have not updated your status.
We need to realize that the cost of some of these commodities has gone high, and we are not able to meet our budgets as planned.
For sub-county schools, for example, we provide lunch. So you must buy maize, and the maize, a 2 kg tin is 220. We buy beans, and a 2 kg tin of beans was 500 shillings, although it's coming down to 480 depending on the place. For some of us who provide rice, a kilo of rice has gone up.
Encourage parents to pay fees for those in boarding schools, to pay money for lunch and any other money that we will be looking for, because we are not able to meet our budget deficits. Kindly also do a proper market survey, because I know you are also operating on a very tight financial situation, so that you are able to get the correct figure.
This is happening at the ongoing conference of heads of different schools. Now, away from that, to MP Godfrey Ruku drafts a bill to guide conduct of demos. Now, Mbeere North, a member of Parliament, Geoffrey Ruku, has, in what appears to be a move to tame opposition anti-government protests, proposed a bill to regulate the conduct of demonstrations and actions of picketing. Here are details of that bill.
There's serious need for this society, the Kenyan society, to be well regulated in terms of demonstration, picketing, presentation of petition to public authorities, and the assemblies. They need to be conducted, recognizing the rights enshrined under the Article 37 of our Constitution. Then we do it in a more disciplined manner. We have seen violent demonstration in the past. People have lost their lives, people have lost their property, and nobody has ever been held accountable. You can't destroy property in the name of demonstration. You can't have loss of life in the name of demonstrations. So let's have peaceful demonstration, peaceful picketing, and for that to be achieved, there must be regulation.
From that now to Finance Committee chairs says Azimio is being hypocritical. Now, section of Kenya Kwanza MPs castigate Raila for calling the country to protest over the finance bill. Here is what they think is hypocrisy from the side of the opposition.
Brothers and sisters, as it's coming out, every day. They are the most dishonest people you'll ever see. They were part of this process. The issues that they contested, or the clauses they actually contested and asked for division, were only two. There is repealing Finance Act of 2023 is not an option. Is not an option at all. Then all that work we did for months, all that public participation we did, all those debates that we had, then what was it for? All the other budgets, they approved them. They are always in ministries going to PSS with requests for projects in their constituencies. Then how do we fund them? They did not give us alternative measures. But then we saw them missing in action. You know, they were called to go and vote, and they were not present at the House. Now, for them now to come out and talk in rallies, those debates they're having in rallies is what they should have debated at Parliament and convinced the floor for us to accept the amendment that they were doing. So when they call for repealing of the whole act, unless they really want to just destabilize the country and make sure nothing moves and nothing happens. We have already particular sectors and businesses already preparing, and they have done now their own planning based on the act that has been signed. We are already seeing, for example, that's on the housing levy, 42 counties. And these 42 counties are across the political divide, including the Azimio governors, have actually signed MOUs with the State Department of Housing to do housing in those counties.
When it comes to the calls by Raila Odinga to actually that they are going to rally their supporters to engage in civil disobedience, to engage in economic sabotage, one, it confirms that our belief for very many years that Raila is an economic bandit is actually coming to pass. And I think if you ask me, anybody who breaks the law, whether he's Raila Odinga, whether he's former Prime Minister or Mama Mboga, the law must be applied uniformly and equitably.
That now to this two suspects arrested over the disappearance of ex-Treasury official Tom Osinde. Now, two suspects have been arrested in connection with the disappearance of former Treasury employee Tom Osinde, who went missing on June 18th from his home in Ongata, Rongai, Nakuru County.
Ndio nimuuliza hii gari ni ya nani, kaniambia ni ya bosi wake, alimpea alete pita hapa. Hata ambesa ani akuja nafyo ndio arudi huko bali anahisi msesi. Alikuwa na mashini ya kutengeneza miti kata.